I love gold. The look of it.
Goes to work as the Kings just can't find that puck.
The taste of it.
Are you kidding me?
The smell of it.
How many times this series he's looked behind him? That one goes up and over the shoulder.
The texture.
That landed as he caught Liambas hard with the right hand.
I love gold so much, hence the name Gold Member.
So here we are. The Vegas Golden Knights are now going to the Stanley Cup Finals, an expansion team. An expansion team. Really, they're playing against the Washington Capitals, who surprised me, but not as much as the Golden Knights surprised me, of course. But what's interesting, this is almost you've got the Golden Knights versus the Washington Capitals. You almost have a gold versus greenback scenario here. Now, as far as my predictions, they've been very mediocre at best. I'm just going to pick the Knights because I think at this point, I don't know. I don't really get it. And I'm doing that knowing that Ovechkin is clearly ready to go, as you can see here. George McPhee. George McPhee brought in a lot of those guys in Washington. He built a lot of that team. Some of the more detailed stuff came after, but a lot of the core, it was him. He obviously built the Golden Knights. Plus, he's got the sack to stand up to John Kordic when he was a player.
Yeah, well, there we go. McPhee and Kordic. McPhee fell down, but gets up. What a heart on that cow. Those are two pit bulls, aren't they? Well, I knew that was going to happen. And that's what John Ferland did. He sent out Kordic to get McPhee. He took Nyland off because he doesn't want Nyland to be in the penalty box. George McPhee going off. He's mad at the linesman for grabbing him.
Now, obviously, Kordic is the better fighter, so we see here what happened. But I love that he's mad. I love that he's a passionate guy, and he had goes with Rick Tocchet. He was a tough player when he played. I got a lot of respect for the guy, and it's kind of funny because either way, whoever wins, he's got his fingers in there in terms of building those teams. This Vegas Golden Knights team, let's be real here. Okay, so they had different rules than normal expansion teams. When, say, Tampa and Ottawa came in, they were garbage for years. They really had one good player pretty much, and then they were just crap. So they have changed the rules over the years, and it's gotten better and better for teams. And quite frankly, when you're paying $500 million for a team, you probably need that. But let's be realistic here. You've got James Neal, who is a 30-goal scorer. He's a good hockey player, but he never blew anyone's mind or anything like that. Then you've got Marchessault, who was already a goal scorer in Florida. Why they gave him up, I'll never know. That was really silly looking back. I'm sure they had their reasons, but and then you've got Fleury, who's a legit tendy, obviously. And then you've got Carlson, who is 25, and his previous 2 seasons, I think his top goals was 6. How do you go from 5 goals, 6 goals to 40 goals? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. On an expansion team, it's not like they took him and put him on Gretzky's line. That didn't happen. So this whole team is bizarre. Everybody else is an also ran. McNabb, at times is a top 4 defenseman previously in his career. All the rest of these guys came out of absolute nowhere, and it's bizarre as it gets. And you do have to credit the club, obviously, but it is bizarre to see them here. It makes no sense. They win all the close games. It's just bizarre. But they're here. And I think what finally pushed them over the edge to get into the finals was when that brothel in Nevada offered all these guys a big giant orgy. That's what did it. That's what did it, folks. Even though a whole pile of those guys are married is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Obviously, it's marketing for the brothel. But no, that's what put them over the top for sure. No question about it. One of the things I was super excited about was to talk about Canada at the World Championships. Here's one beef. What is with 5 days between series? Like, what benefit did Vegas get winning in 5? Because 5 days, 10 days, 5 days off. Like, where's the penalty for going the distance in the previous series? The Capitals still get a whole 5 days off. Brutal, NHL. Why? Why drag this into the middle of June now? We could have ended it, and now it just drags on. Bad decision. I also figured out some changes that need to come in Edmonton. I think that this will really benefit them. As far as the Leafs go, I think they have bigger problems than people realize. Major defensive deficiencies, clearly, that have to be addressed. They're not very physical. That has to be addressed because you're not going anywhere in the playoffs. Not promoting Hunter, in my opinion, was a mistake. I mean, no offense to Dubas, but Hunter's got he played in the league. You know, he's run a junior club, owned a junior club, drafted. Look, the team that they have now, the core they have now is him. He built that. No offense to Dubas, but I have a feeling this is going to be a mistake, but that's just me. I hope I'm wrong. And make no mistake, this decision was made last year when they blocked Colorado from taking Dubas. That never happens. The decision to make him GM was already made then. So that in any of this story and surprise over it, oh no, it was done. So you let 2 guys with huge pedigree go, and you replace them with this dude. And again, I hope it works out. I'm not super keen on it. But here's the other thing I would do to deal with the defense, partly deal with the contracts and deal with the cap. This could be a huge offseason for them. This is what I would do. And Leaf fans are going to probably, some of you are going to think I'm nuts, but it makes perfect sense if you really think about it. This is what I would do. If it's possible and they can do it, I would sign Tavares. And people say, oh, the cap space. Okay, but here's what I would do in exchange for signing Tavares. I would put Matthews on the trading block. Because you've basically got the same level of player, elite level player. So what you would get is instead of signing Matthews to some massive contract, you sign Tavares, and then you bring the assets back from trading Matthews, which could be a defenseman. It would certainly be some picks, prospects. Basically, those are free assets for signing Tavares. That's a huge, huge deal. Maybe you get that defenseman you need. Other thing I would do is trade Anderson. There are teams in the league that need goaltending. He had a really crummy playoffs this year. I don't think he was that great last year. His stats in the 7 games against Boston were worse than Reimer's, and Reimer was the scapegoat for the club, as I mentioned last week. So they have a superstar in the making in the minors that they've developed. Let's bring him up, and let's trade Anderson for some futures and free up that cap space. That's what I would do. Sparks is ready. I fear that what they're going to do is actually trade Sparks, which is, I think, a huge mistake. I think in the long run, he's going to be way better than Anderson. Anderson's rebound control is atrocious, both last year and this year in the playoffs. So that's my 2 cents. And one last thing, if you haven't seen this is what they do in Russia when Putin plays. So watch this video. This is absolutely hilarious. He is not very good at hockey, but it is hilarious what they do and how they deal with it. So check it out. See you next time.
Been wonderful in front of the cage. Giroux across, drive by Team and score! His first goal of the playoffs! Holy moly! Down and stretches things out. Gets cleared in front of the net. Fires!
on the defenseman again, and then Holt did nothing left. Wow!
Tries to split the defense and walk in. Nice move. Another nice move. He scored! What a goal! It doesn't get any better than this. How do you do?
Oh, baby!
The game on his stick right here.
Here we'll get a great look at it. I'm not sure. Does this go through the arm? No. Just over the blocker.
On a roll by the open side. He got another crack at it. He scores.
He did it! He did it! The greatest goal scorer!
My goodness gracious!
They're going to try here. Rushing to center and down the wing. Dropped it. Shot!
Simply sensational! Looking for the goal! Down the ice! Scores!
This is over. Oh my goodness, what a play.
The winner of the Conn Smythe Trophy is Evgeny Malkin.
Has won the Stanley Cup.
He was not able to really effectively finish. He's able to coast along with it right now, though. To whom will they hand it first?
Это матч, в котором нет проигравших. Всем спасибо, всех с победой!